ladies and gentlemen, Scotty P here, Panini Podcast, Going Direct, joined by my new co-host.
What's up, guys? Jeff here.
You know, it's playoff time. We had a great, exciting weekend of football. We now know who's going to play in the Super Bowl.
Painful weekend for some of us, but good football nonetheless. Speaking of football,
we got a good matchup. We got Joe Burrow going up against Matt Stafford. It's playoff time, right? You know what playoff time means? Playoff football. And playoff football releases this week, so look for that.
what a segue. Who do you like in the Burrow-Stafford matchup?
Man, I don't know. I'm pulling for Cincinnati.
Okay, me
That's
too.
who I'm cheering for. I like the underdog. Should be fun. Should be a good game either way.
I think Cincy is due for a Super Bowl. I want this for those fans.
There you go. And next week, we got a whole UFC thing going, right?
Yes, thank you for bringing that up. So we got our boy Matt Danger Schnell coming in here in the studio to shoot an episode. We might open some product. We're going to talk about his fight coming up on February 12th at UFC 271. And I'm just excited because Matt is not only a professional fighter, he is really into cards.
He is. We talk cards. I didn't even want to let him go because we were talking cards. We had such a good time. That, and guess what? And the other thing I was going to do next week is bring on David Sharp because the UFC membership program kicks off next week. It was going to be this week. They moved it to next week. So it just ties all into the UFC with Matt coming on. It should be a fun episode.
Good episode.
And we'll look forward to, hopefully, fingers crossed, because you never know, UFC Prism, first off the line pre-sale, fingers crossed. But you never know. We're moving everything. We always move stuff. That's what we do, is we move.
Speaking of moving, we should move on to your interview.
I'm real excited, man. It's Senior Bowl week, and so I was lucky enough to sit down with the head of the Senior Bowl, Jim Nagy. He offers some pretty cool insight as to what goes on in the whole week, what leads into picking the players, and he just kind of explains his background, which is actually really cool if you're a football nerd like me and you want to see where some of these guys, you know, who grew up in the game, how they tell their stories. Pretty cool. And the names he's been around. He won 3 Super Bowls. I mean, dude, he has been around the block, bro. All right, I'm joined now, special guest here on the Panini Going Direct podcast. On the hotline, joining me, Jim Nagy, Executive Director of the Senior Bowl. Jim, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, Scott, good to be on and joining you.
Well, it's a busy week, so I appreciate you carving out a few minutes to talk to us. But kind of tell us, you know, one of the things I've always wondered is just kind of what goes into this process. What gets you here? What gets you to this week? Like, what does your year look like to where this is finally the week that you get to go and it's go time?
It's a lot, man. We're in the middle of it right now, but a lot goes into it. Our staff puts in so much work year round. You know, people always ask in terms of like our scouting process and how we do the roster. I mean, just to be real brief, you know, we've got scouting assistants here, Michael Coe, our DFO, who played in the Senior Bowl back in 07. We'll do all the week through the spring, all the work in the spring and the summer. You know, when the NFL hiring cycle happens after the draft, you know, some guys get let go that I've worked with on the road, you know, in the NFL for years and years and years. I assemble a new scouting staff every year, going in usually late July, August. And then we handle it just like an NFL personnel department does. You know, we download the tape from the NFL Dub Center, just like the teams do, you know, every week. I mean, that stuff's posted like the next day. We can get any college tape. We're at games every weekend. We're at anywhere between 10 and 13 games a week. You know, getting live evals on these players. And then, you know, on the other side of this camera is our draft board, you know, so we, you know, we just stack it and go through the year. And then really the final piece of the process is relying on my 20 years in the NFL and experience and relationships and just, you know, vet our roster out. You know, we kind of go across the board position by position with upper level guys in a department. You know, sometimes it's the GM, sometimes it's a personnel director, but someone that has access to all their grades or is sitting in front of their board like we are with ours. And we just go down like, hey, this is here's the 4 quarterbacks we really like at the top. Here's the next 2 for us. Like, are you good with those first 4? And then who would your next 2 be? And we just, you know, those are like hour and a half phone calls. And then once we get through those in the beginning of November, that's when the invites start going out. So yeah, it's a year-round process. Again, there's so many other things. That's just the football side. I mean, you know, in terms of pulling off an event like this, there's all the hospitality. You know, you guys have been incredible helping us amplify everything we do down here during game week and really making this thing look special. But, from, entertaining, hosting sponsors and all the different events we have during the week, like the Players Mardi Gras Parade and the free concert we have downtown which is going to be Friday night of this week with Portugal the Man. We expect like 40,000 people downtown Mobile for that. We've got a summit event, kind of a panel style thing on Tuesday night at a historic theater downtown Mobile with Kirk Herbstreit's hosting it. We're going to have Nick Saban and Mel Tucker and Brian Harsin and James Franklin and Steve Sarkisian. That's going to be a cool event. So it's not just practice in a game anymore. We've really built this thing out. But for all that to happen, it's a long process and a lot of work from our staff. So I can't say enough about our staff, man. They, you interface with all our guys and all our people and guys and girls, and it's a rewarding week to see it all kind of come together. But it is kind of a three-ring circus once we get to game week.
It is. Well, you mentioned going to games. You mentioned studying up. You're one of my most favorite follows on Twitter because I feel like I'm almost a draft expert just following you online. So your knowledge is incredible, man. I love it. The detail you guys put into getting these guys and studying them is next level. So walk us through the week now. The players arrive. There's practices. The game is on Saturday. Walk us kind of through the week.
Yeah. So, our two coaching staffs this year are the Jets and the Lions. The NFL assigns those staffs that kind of start with the draft order. You got to have a full staff in place. So this year, like the Texans and the Jags were taken out of it. And we got the Lions and Jets who are picking 2 and 4. So they show up on Sunday. Every player arrival day is Sunday. Those guys will show up. They'll go through registration, and that's like a medical exam. Some forms of testing that the teams want to get done, psychological testing. You guys play a big role in that now with your photo shoot. So there's a lot of different stages to for their football cards, which is cool. Yes. Really cool. That's been an awesome ad for our guys. But there's a lot of stages to registration. When they get done with that, we'll have a team dinner on Sunday night. We'll kind of have a little orientation. We'll introduce the two coaches and the GMs. They'll come up and say a couple words. We'll have the championship game on TV. We won't even start the orientation until that last championship game is over. The guys love sitting around and watching that together. That's always a lot of fun. It's like a huge room and guys just hanging out. And then Monday's really their big intro day with the coaches. They'll have some team interviews on Monday mornings. We have a 2-hour block Monday morning for them to interview with teams. But that's when they get with their two staffs. They'll get with the Lions. They'll get with the Jets, start going over the playbook, be in position meetings most of the day. Monday night, we'll have a welcome reception for people in the city, in the community, kind of kick off game week. There'll be like a pep rally style format this year with our players coming through. Monday night's a big interview night for the guys. We've got a 4-hour interview block. So they'll have 6 hours of team interviews on Monday alone. And then really then it's on the field. Tuesday they'll just be in uppers. They'll be in shoulder pads and helmets. Wednesday, Thursday, fully padded practices, really intense. Friday is our community service day. It's really like my favorite day of the week, and I think the players love it too. We talk about all the interviews and the practices and the playbook. It's a stressful week on these guys. It really is. So for them to finally be able to exhale, go to children's hospitals, go to local schools, go to food banks, and give back, I think they really, really enjoy that. It's such a great day. And then, Friday night, like I said, we've got our Mardi Gras player parade. They'll be chucking autographed footballs all downtown Mobile, which will be really sweet. I think we're going to be throwing over 2,000 autographed footballs. Wow. As a team, which is great for any collectors or people that are into that like I was, and then we'll have that concert Friday night, and then Saturday's game day, man, it's on. So really excited to move into the new stadium this year. We were there last year for the first time at Hancock Whitney Stadium, brand new state-of-the-art venue, but we were only at a quarter capacity because of COVID. So to fill that thing this year and blow it out with all the, we couldn't tailgate last year. So we're going to have iHeart, we're going to have a concert stage out this side of the stadium, and there's all these different activations going on. So man, it's going to be incredible on Saturday out on the campus at South Alabama.
Yeah, I think that's going to be cool. You mentioned the last year being in that stadium in the crowd. I remember we put blow-ups. We helped you guys make blow-ups to put in the end zone of some of the past players that have gone on to the Hall of Fame and whatnot, just to make the stands look a little full. So it's going to be good to have people there in the audience finally live. But so when does the process start for next year, or has it already started?
It will. It's kind of started in some ways because when you're watching tape on players, guys pop out and they'll catch your attention. And then you pull up a depth chart and be like, dang, he's we know who the seniors are. You just got to know if they're a freshman or sophomore, or maybe it's a guy we'll have next year. So we kind of have, we've got some notes on next year's guys, but we'll as a staff collectively, we'll take a couple weeks off. We've been grinding through every weekend since December.
Take some time off.
We're gonna go. We've gone like 2 months straight, basically without a weekend off for the staff. So when we get through the game, I think everyone just kind of collapses a little bit. We'll give them a couple weeks to recharge the batteries, get out of Mobile. I think I'm gonna go sit in the woods by myself and not have a phone or a TV or anything for a couple weeks, and then we'll come back in the middle of February and regroup. And from a football perspective, we'll jump on the 2023 tape in the middle of February.
Yeah. So I know last year was our first year with you, and I kind of noticed a few guys. One of them that jumped off was Elijah Mitchell, who was in the Senior Bowl. Like I had never really even followed him, but just now looking to see what he's done in the NFL is great. Hey, give me a player or two from this year that was at the Senior Bowl that you just were like, I knew that guy was going to be great. I saw him practice all week. And now he's just doing great in the NFL.
From last year's game or this year's game?
Last year's game.
Last year's game. I'd probably say Creed Humphrey, the center for the Chiefs. He was a guy, you couldn't have a better resume. 3-time All-American. He was a junior. He's one of the 16 juniors we had in last year's game. He graduated. A lot of people don't understand that. If the juniors graduate before our game, they're eligible, right?
Okay.
I mean, they went to school to get a diploma. They get their diploma. Why hold them back? So
Right.
It was interesting last year where Creed went. I think center is a position that teams are trying to wait on a little bit. Tight ends like that, running backs like that. They all kind of get pushed down, unfortunately. So for Creed to come in, and I know that he made some all-pro teams as a rookie at that position, was awesome. I think Elijah Mitchell's a guy, you brought up. Ramondre Stevenson from the Patriots was a guy we were really high on. We were surprised he fell to the fourth. But like you said, Scott, like for collectors or fantasy guys, and I know those worlds kind of intersect a lot, if you're not following along with us during the year, if you do follow along with us through the fall and through the spring and summer and fall and through our game, you will have a huge jump start on what these guys are going to be. Elijah Mitchell was no surprise to us. We had a 3rd-round grade on him. He went in the 6th just because of the nature of the position. Teams wait on those guys. And it was interesting. The Niners picked 2 running backs out of our game last year. They took Trey Sermon from Ohio State.
That's right. Yeah.
They took Elijah Mitchell in the 6th, and Elijah's been the guy that's kind of emerged and been their starter. But that's the cool part about this game, man. Like, if you follow it for long enough, by the time they get here, you feel like you know them, and then you see them for a week live and in person, and then they go through the draft process. I really think it does. I think it helps fantasy players. And, for collectors, it's really cool. It's you guys, what Panini has brought to our game and our players with the NFTs this year. All of our players are going to get a 1-of-1 unique NFT. Is a really cool ad for our guys. It was so cool to open packs this year and see guys in Senior Bowl uniforms. That had never happened before, at least since I've been here. I think we used to have a relationship with a card company years ago, back in the early 2000s, but there was a big gap there. So to see our uniforms, our players pop up in packs, man, that was pretty cool for a guy that grew up collecting cards, man. I love that.
Yeah, I listen, if you didn't hear what he said, rewind it. He's giving you a look at who to collect next year. That's bringing it back to collecting, bringing it back to cards. Like he said, follow this guy because he's going to tell you who's going to be hot next year.
I just got one request, Scott. If you do, I saw a Mac Jones card with the jersey cutout, and it was the Senior Bowl logo, like the patch was almost perfectly. That has to be sent to Senior Bowl headquarters next year. If it's that beautiful looking, I don't care, just charge me whatever you want to charge me.
There you go.
I want that card here in the office. I'm trying to track down the guy that owns that card right now.
I think I know who owns that card, and he sits in the office next to me. So you'll have to arm wrestle him for it. But yes, we'll show some cards up on screen here at the end of some of the things we've done because they were pretty cool, and the uniforms are great. Like we made some cool patches and some cool cards. So I know a guy who can send you some of those, and I'll talk to him.
Okay. No, and wait till you see game day this week. Wait till you see this year's uniforms.
I can't wait.
Nike really stepped up the game this year. We're wearing their top of the line stuff and really cool designs. So they'll look really good in the packs next year.
Oh, I can't wait to see these uniforms, man. Well, I got just one more. I want to talk about Jim now. I want to talk about Jim because you have a
My least
great
favorite. My least favorite.
Your least favorite topic? Well, it's my favorite topic when I get somebody on. Well, my favorite topic is talking about me for those that follow along. So don't worry, I don't have a problem about it. But so your background is you were a scout, and you participated in 6 Super Bowls, is what I read.
6 Super Bowls.
And won 3 or 4. No, 1 4.
1 4. And like the side note to that, the 2 that I lost were like the 2 most heartbreaking Super Bowls ever. I was with the Patriots during our undefeated year where the David Tyree helmet catch.
Yes.
Lost that one in Arizona. And then I was with the Seahawks on the goal line Malcolm Butler interception.
Yes.
And that was in Arizona as well. So
Arizona's not.
My wife has said,
friendly, right?
if I ever get back into the NFL, and we're fortunate enough to get back to a Super Bowl and it's being played in Phoenix, we're staying home. We're not even going. We're not going to be that jinx.
There you go. Well, I was at both of those, and I'm sorry. Because I can tell you again, the guy that sits in the office next to me had no problems with either one of those wins. So we'll get one of the reasons I want to bring that up is because working for different franchises is pretty cool, and you've worked with some great people. And I just wanted to ask you, like if you could share just a couple of things you learned at each stop or a memorable moment from each stop, because I mean that's incredible. 4 Super Bowls with obviously incredible franchises in the Patriots, the Seahawks, and the Packers, correct?
Yeah. So I mean, first job out of college was with the Packers in '96. Was really lucky. I mean, a Super Bowl year. I'm 22 years old, fresh out of college. I lived with one of the guys on the team, one of our tight ends, Jeff Thomason, who ended up he was in my wedding. I consider him one of my best friends. That was a unique experience, living with an NFL player and kind of seeing that daily grind and what he went through. Right? Like the day after a game, like seeing how long it took him to get from the bedroom to the kitchen in the morning to get a cup of coffee. I mean, literally taking baby steps, man. It'd take him like 5 minutes just to get down the hallway in the morning. So just that made me appreciate what these players go through. That was a really unique team. I mean, Green Bay is a unique place because it is a smaller town and there's less to do. I mean, I really think just the nature of Green Bay, and it might not happen every year, but at least with that team, that was a really tight-knit team. I mean, the locker room was incredible. I got to see that as a young guy from a unique perspective, but it stuck with me through my time in scouting, what team chemistry is all about and leadership is all about. I mean, you had Reggie White on the defensive side of the ball. You had Brett Favre on the offensive side of the ball. And just to see how those two guys led those 2 units was a great takeaway. That team had 6 future NFL GMs on it. So when I was an intern, I mean, that's how I really got my start in scouting. John Schneider, the current GM of the Seahawks, he and Reggie McKenzie. Reggie was the former GM of the Raiders. Those guys were young pro scouts at the time. They were just cutting their teeth as well. But I'd go up and bother them almost every day, like knock on their door when I got done with my responsibility. I said, "Hey, can I just sit and watch tape with you guys?" So that was a learning experience. That's kind of my first introduction to the NFL. Then spent 1 year in Washington with John. He got me my first scouting gig. Marty Schottenheimer got fired after 1 year. We went 8-8. I really felt like he could have won Coach of the Year that year with what he did with our roster. That was kind of a wake-up call. Like, man, sometimes it doesn't matter the job you do in this league. It's
right.
So that was an eye-opener. And then ended up in New England for the next 7 years. Tons of takeaways from that time. Just learned so much under Scott Pioli, who was our GM. And Coach Belichick, the whole staff, really. It was kind of a think tank, if you will. A lot of smart people in that building. We just built it around guys that had football smarts and really a makeup-driven building. Again, to talk about leadership on that team, with Tom on offense and that defense with like Willie McGinnis was kind of the alpha of that team. But then you had like Teddy Bruschi and Vrabel and just Junior Seau and on and on and on. And then that team had a lot of glue guys too. Like there was a lot of guys like that showed me like you can have those leaders, but man, you got to have some other dudes in that locker room that pull the thing together. So that was a great learning experience. Went to Kansas City for 4 years with Scott after that. We had some, we won a division title there. But there's always things you can take away. We never really got the head coaching things settled. So there was a lot of takeaways there. And then going to Seattle, just comparing it to my time in New England, like two completely different cultures, two completely different leadership styles between, Coach Belichick and Pete Carroll and John Schneider. Like, it was just a different building. It was a different vibe. So that helped shape me as a leader and prepared me for this job I have here at the Senior Bowl. You take bits and pieces from each place. Really on the football side, my takeaway there was we just had a bunch of alpha guys, man. We had a bunch of dogs on that team, for lack of a better term. You got, the Cam Chancellors and the Richard Shermans and Doug Baldwins and Marshawn Lynch. I mean, we just had highly, highly hyper competitive dudes on that football team, and they would just get after you. They were ferocious. So just to build, and we were really a height, weight, speed, traits-driven football team. You're talking about, building the prototypes, from a physical standpoint, guys that were nasty and physical and played with an edge. So, that was my takeaway there. Like, those are, you gotta have some of those guys. You gotta have a bunch of guys on your team that are dogs. All those things helped shape me. Sorry for the long-winded answer. I kind of
no.
But that's man. I was blessed. That's a great background. Great takeaways. I always, when I see guys be promoted in the NFL, like to GM roles, sometimes then they've only been in one spot. I always think like, man, how would I be if I weren't at all those stops before? Because I know that I had great takeaways from each one.
Right. Well, I'll tell you, you don't always hear that side of it. So I appreciate you sharing that. It's a fascinating story and neat to hear that side of it you just don't always hear. So I appreciate you sharing. I can listen to it all day. So it wasn't long-winded to me at all. But I can tell you this. I kept you longer than I promised. I appreciate the time. I know you're busy. I know you're about to, once you turn this off, you're going to run to the next spot. So I do appreciate you taking the time to jump on with us. Good luck for the rest of this week. And I don't know if I'll be able to find you in what woods you're hiding out in after this, but you said go enjoy those woods and take some time off after this.
Scott, man, I appreciate you on a personal level and appreciate Panini, everything they've brought to this game, man. It's an awesome partnership. It's not a sponsorship, man. It's a partnership. You guys have
love it.
You guys have brought so much to our game, and I hope that we've helped you guys out. I just think it's been awesome, man. So thank you. It's good. The rest of the week here in Mobile, we'll have some fun together.
There you go. Likewise, same, man. It's been great getting to know you, and I promise you, I'm coming out to the golf tournament this year. I promise you.
Gotta be here, dude.
We gotta swing them.
Dude, that is an incredible event. Like last year, that thing's going to build too. And you guys were a big part of that. So can't wait to get you down here. The weather will be a little different in late June.
There you go.
The humidity will be cranked up. So,
well, I'm from Texas, so it don't matter to me. I'm good with humidity and heat. So.
All right,
man. Well, thank you, buddy.
Hey, man.
And we're back.
Yes, and this is the part that everybody wants to see. It's Unwrap time. Panini Unwrap. We got two products here. I'm excited. Both football. We just had a great football weekend. We decided who's going to the Super Bowl, so why not do a double whammy football? We got playoff. We got Immaculate. We're going to split this one. We're going to take turns.
All right. Yeah, let's start with that.
So let's start with
We'll lead up to Immaculate.
We'll lead up to Immaculate.
And so this...
Tua on the box. He ended up having a great year. I love him. He's one of the best dudes to be around. There you go. There's your half. There's my half. 12 packs per box. We each got 6. So let's go. What does it say here? What does it say on here? While you're doing pack 1, 2 autographs and 1 memorabilia card per. There we go.
Playoffs been around. That was one of the early Panini brands.
1992.
Right? 1992.
There may have been some promo cards in 91. Don't quote me on that. Ooh, and you know what? Speaking of, it's like I planned it. It's like it was meant to happen. Look at that. Tua autograph out of the Tua box.
Dude.
Look at that. Bam. Love me some Tua. I'm a big fan of Tua.
I pulled a Keenan Allen jersey card. And then Zach Wilson behind the numbers, silver.
Yeah, and I pulled George Kittle.
Dude, so you think Joey B is going to pull this out, or are you just rooting for them?
I'm just rooting for them. I like the underdog.
Yeah, same.
They hadn't been to, all right, man, Thunder and Lightning.
More?
They hadn't been there in a while.
Wow.
Boom!
This is nice. So I got a Prism, a silver, called Arms, Matthew Stafford.
We always got to give a shout out to my man, Tracy Hackler. There's his favorite player of all time.
Elway?
The base cards are smooth. And what do I say all the time on this Unwrap? I love older player cards on new technology. So, got to show that one. Oh, here's my man, Andy Dalton. Look at that. Andy, what's up? We might see you at the Super Bowl.
Might see you in a couple days.
Ian Book. The last one I got is Ian Book.
Oh, man.
Rookie wave.
Javonte Williams, rookie wave.
It's like we're pulling the same ones back, back and forth.
Yeah, we are. Who's your favorite rookie out of this class?
I'll tell you. There we go. We got Trevor Lawrence. I like Jamar Chase.
Yep.
He's been awesome. Great kid. All those guys, man. We've done a lot. We did a lot with Chase, Waddle, Smith. I like the guys we've gotten to hang out with a little bit, get to know.
All right. Got a redemption, Elijah Moore, a rookie ticket variation, RPS preview green. Whoa. How many is that out of? That sounds like low number.
Sounds very low. This sounds very green.
I love the green.
And here's what I got. So this must be a parallel, but a Kellen Mond on like Optichrome technology right there. Very cool. Very cool. My last pack, man.
All right. Oh. Gosh, I'm really excited. I just pulled one of these cards.
I'm going to show this. I'm going to show this off. On a day where we celebrate Tom Brady's career, there's Tom's last card right there. Ever. That we're ever making right there. It's the last one.
What? Whoa.
Just kidding.
The disrespect.
Yeah.
So this is a cool card. So I love this because I created the blog post previewing this set, and this was one of our sales cards. It's the Mahomes Tyreek Hill. What is this called? Thunder and Lightning. That is a slick looking insert.
That is a good Thunder and Lightning right there. If you're gonna have a card of Thunder and Lightning, I picture Mahomes and Tyreek Hill. Here you go, Travis Etienne, rookie wave.
I'm gonna let you open this last pack.
Hayden Hurst. You can see that one's numbered. And last but not least, Trey Lance, rookie wave. I like these rookie waves.
Trey Lance. Okay.
Cool design.
Next up, our Immaculate Football 2021. Oh gosh, the matte black exterior. It's nice looking. It's looking sharp. I like green too. All right, here we go, Scotty.
Is it? What do we do with our? Here we go. Boom, boom. There you go. You go first.
Dealer's choice. Okay. And our base card is Phillip Rivers out of 75. I actually really like Immaculate and NT base cards. Something about those.
Nice big swatch. Like that Jalen Waddle. Very nice. I like that.
And another Jalen Phillips out of 99. Rookie auto.
So that's 1, 2. Let's make it 3 Dolphins in a row. And as luck would have it, Tua again. So there's another Tua card. It's like it's Tua Tuesday is what it is. But this one's numbered
Would you
at
say 2 up for the price of 1?
22 out of 25, man. Look at that.
That's a nice looking card.
That is a very nice card. We'll put that right over here with my other Tua.
Whoa, you got a Tua collection card?
I do.
Okay, so I'm going to need help with this gentleman's last name. Big surprise. TJ
Hushmanzada. Nice. You say Hushmanzada, I say Hushmanzada.
out of 99 is the eye black, though. I love the eye black cards out of iMac. These are really nice, but I like the silver auto on the eye black. That is sharp. That's out of 99. Really like that.
Very nice. And last card, rookie Ian Book.
Book it.
There you go. Very nice. Multicolored swatch on card
Ooh,
auto.
RPA.
Very nice.
Love that.
Well, that is it, man.
Hey, man,
We got
good
Immaculate,
episode, Scotty.
Playoff, football. Man, season's almost over.
Coming up on the
Got
Super Bowl.
one more game left, the Super Bowl, and then we turn our attention elsewhere, right?
All right, guys, thanks for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, and check out the episode next week. We have Matt Danger Snell from the UFC is going to be joining us in studio. It's going to be an awesome episode. Make sure to check it out.